I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Network. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. As always, hit that like button. And thank you for watching our channel. We're going to talk about Joe Rogan. Now, he had Gina Carano on yesterday. Bravo to that. Of course, she's OG MMA. And, of course, Joe Rogan's lane is UFC commentator. But he also has the biggest podcast out there. He reaches about 220 million listeners a month. He gets more listens, more plays, more views than every news outlet combined. So he's got the biggest reach, really and truly. So Joe Rogan has learned a lot in the last 18 months to 24 months about the culture, the current state of the Democratic Party, the radical progressives, and, of course, they tried to cancel Joe Rogan over multiple instances of just plain nonsense, okay? I call it they put together the greatest hits compilation of the N-word without any context whatsoever and then released it. And why did they do that? Because he gave a double middle finger to COVID protocol when he got COVID. He didn't go with the status quo. So the radical left, Twitter mob, everybody got mad. It became a huge story. And they tried to cancel him. Now, he came out recently and said, oddly enough, Fox News and the viewers of Fox News were the only people that had his back during all that. Well, he's co-signed a presidential candidate, it looks like. This is the Daily Wire. He does also praise Ben Shapiro, and mainly for what Ben is trying to put together. And look, it is impressive. I mean, the website, the podcast, everything he's got going on, the entertainment section of his company, it's impressive. I mean, I think where most of us that do this, Ben Shapiro is where we want to go, you know. He's kind of the guy at this point. Rogan throws his weight behind top 2024 presidential contender and praises effing brilliant Ben Shapiro. Famed podcast host Joe Rogan threw his weight behind potential 2024 presidential contender Ron DeSantis, the current Republican governor of Florida, during his show on Tuesday, where he praised the Daily Wire and effing brilliant Ben Shapiro. Rogan made his remarks as he interviewed actress Gina Carano, who starred in the Daily Wire's newest hit film, Terror on the Prairie. Of course, they tried to cancel Gina off the face of the earth. Quote, it's very interesting because the Daily Wire is doing what the Daily Wire is doing is creating a right-wing alternative. They're doing stand-up comedy, they're doing podcasts, they're doing all these different things, and Ben's pretty effing brilliant guy. Guys, if you haven't seen Ben Shapiro absolutely Ginsu knife some of these transgenders and some of this gender ideology crap, it is absolutely worth a listen. Quote, it's really interesting, like as a business model, like there is a market for that. People are tired of being spoon-fed one ideology. At a different point in the podcast, Rogan was asked by Carano, are you throwing out any support towards anyone? Are you going to hold off? And didn't Elon Musk come out recently for DeSantis? Quote, yeah, I think DeSantis would work as a good president. I mean, what he's done for Florida has been admirable, Rogan said. I feel like what he did for Florida, a lot of people gave him a lot of grief, but ultimately he was correct. He was correct when it comes to, like, deaths. He was correct when it comes to protecting vulnerable populations. He was correct in terms of distribution of monoclonal antibodies, something I have been treated with, and it worked unbelievably. And he was furious when the government tried to pull those, and they were trying to pull very effective treatments. You know, he is not perfect. He's a human being, he continued. But what he's done is stand up for freedoms, and people think that there's some weird gaslighting shit that went on where people equated freedom and saying the word freedom to like right-wing bigotry and hate. It is so strange. Absolutely. It's nuts. Gina Carano's remarks about Musk comes after Musk threw his weight behind DeSantis earlier this month after he revealed that he, quote, voted for Mayra Flores, first time I ever voted Republican. massive wave coming in 2022. When asked online who he was leaning in his support for the 2024 presidential election, Musk responded, DeSantis. I supported Yang last time, but DeSantis has a better chance of winning. Musk recently doubled down on supporting the Republican Party for the upcoming midterms because of how Democrats have treated him. And he goes on to talk about everything that's happened with Elon Musk. Now, this is interesting. This comes 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks actually, about 10 days, since Bill Maher said that he thought DeSantis might be a sound president, a good president. Okay, and that's a classical liberal. But that's the thing. Joe Rogan was a classic liberal, they call it, and so is Bill Maher. Elon Musk, classic liberal. But the fact is, there is no place for classic liberals. They're not. They look up, their party has left them. You got the AOC, you got Stacey Abrams, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Bernie Sanders. You've got this radical left, progressive socialist side, the BLM side of that Democratic Party, and the alphabet mob. Okay, everybody's lost their sense of common sense. Okay, it's gone, and these people recognize that. As far as Ben Shapiro goes, yeah, what Ben's done is unbelievable. I think it's given everybody, all of us that do this sort of thing, a goal. He is kind of the guy. All right? I mean, all around, website, podcast, all that stuff is pretty amazing. I like his Sunday conversations. He's had Gina on. He's had Ron DeSantis on. He's had Bill Maher on. And they're very, very good. Okay? Now, at one time, he was a never-Trumper. But it took about 3 months, and Trump won him over, and he threw his full support behind Trump. And that's the other thing. It's okay for us to sort of disagree about some things. We've kind of lost sight of that, I think. But he comes out, Joe Rogan, to come out and talk about Ron DeSantis in that way. Ron DeSantis is going to pull a lot of middle-of-the-road votes. And I got to be honest with you. You got to have those votes to win elections. You've got to swing the independent vote over into your coffer, or you're not going to win, okay? And so that's very important. And more importantly, DeSantis is a conservative Republican, and Joe Rogan is praising him and saying he could be a good president. Very interesting there. Another guy that just threw that out, that Gina Carano podcast that he did, that thing will get millions of listens and millions of, not millions, but a ton of articles like this one, and then other people will talk about it, like the quartering. He did a video on this thing, just like I'm doing. It's got 250,000 views on it right now. All right, so it's important that voices like him stand up and reach the middle-of-the-road voter, although I would tend to believe that actually there's probably more people that lean right that listen to Joe Rogan now than on the other side. All right. Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. Joe Rogan, he co-signed Ron DeSantis. I think it's a big deal. I do. I mean, we know at one time he would have supported Bernie Sanders. Now he's talking about how good of a president Ron DeSantis would be. Sometimes it falls back to common sense. Think about it. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.